Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to, well, if you're here in the UK, Saturday night edition of a craft along. I know, imagine that, Saturday night having a craft along. Now, if apparently there's something on football, well, I've just landed that went right down the wrong way, didn't it? Apparently, there's something on tonight along the lines of football. I don't know. That's, you know what, you're better watching us. You're better watching us. Oh, no. Although I've just got a load of gasps in my ear. One of them, of course, has been here all day with me. We're here today, right now, craft along. Debbie, it's yourself.
We are, Craig. It's been a lovely day.
It has.
I've loved spending the day with you and the guys. And yes, it's been a great footballing day. And as much as it's nice to be here with you guys, I wish I was finishing at 7 and going to watch the football. Going to be honest,
there you go.
throw it out there. Johnny is going to be feeding it to me, though. So through me ear, I'll hear it all. So which will be good. And I'm sure Jake will be shouting if England scores.
Jake will probably run in and do a run around with his top off or something.
Oh, we'll get a yellow card for that.
But yeah.
Do you know what, Craig? We're going to be making this beautiful... Now, so for me, the craft along is not only about craft along, it's having a bit of fun. It's also learning something new that you might not have seen before. So we're going to be making this beautiful pop-up hexagon box. So you can see it's a hexagon shape and it folds flat and it literally just pops up. So we're going to be learning how to do that, which is amazing. And all these elements come out of that through the looking glass box, which is amazing.
That looks fab. That looks so good. What a lovely thing to be doing on a Saturday night. But Debbie, we'll need some bits and pieces, won't we?
You certainly will, and I've got a shopping list for you. So the first thing we're going to need is obviously our Sara's Through the Looking Glass box. Now, I've grabbed my Spectrum tri-blend markers, but you can also use your classics, and I will tell you the names. We're also using a Nor Black alcohol-proof ink pad. Now, the circle nesting dies I've got. The stitch edge nesting dies I didn't bring with me and I couldn't find them in the gallery, but it doesn't matter, I'll show you how to do them. So as long as you've got a circle set of nesting dies, that's absolutely fine. We're going to be using our multi-purpose cardstock, some Nina cardstock and a sheet of acetate. And then we've got a few different elements that you'll need, which is your guillotine, a craft knife, a cutting mat, a craft board, a scoreboard, your tape pen, foam pads, and scissors and Gemini die cutting machine as well. So once you've got all your toolkits together, Craig's going to throw to me and we'll get started.
We will do. We'll be with you just very shortly. However, we're not on our own. No, we've got someone crafting along with us. We've got Shan from the UK. Hey, Shan.
Hi.
How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. You okay?
Good, I'm doing very well, thank you very much. Been a lovely day now, looking forward to this craft along. Are you going to be doing exactly what Debbie's doing? Are you going to change it slightly?
I'm going to copy along with Debbie, I think.
Yeah.
I love this collection. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, though, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
What a perfect way to start by using this collection,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I'm sure you will be absolutely fine throughout the craft along, but if you do need anything, just raise your hand. We've got Johnny and Charlotte in the gallery. They'll let us know and then we'll dot back throughout the live to, well, to see how you're doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See you soon. Right, so what we've also got as well today is we have got our 12 days of Craftmas. So that just means for today, right up till midnight your time, you're going to get 10% off when you spend 40. So that's £40, $40 or 40 euros. You are going to get 10% off. So just think of it, if you are platinum, you're going to get 20% off as usual, and then you're going to get your additional 10% as well. However, that is for everyone. What I do need you to do though is when you go to checkout in that promo code, I need you to just type out in capital letters CMAS10, and then that's going to activate that additional 10%. Now, if you just want the box when it comes to Sara's signature Through the Looking Glass, we've got a really good deal for you. So this one is Through the Looking Glass, today's price, $49.99 or $59.95. Now, that today's price, if you're not Club Inspire and you pay for that, of course, then you're going to get your extra 10% off. If you are Platinum, that's going to come down to $39.99 or $47.96. So if you're in the UK, you just need maybe a score tool or maybe a tape runner, just something just to take you over that £40 mark, then you can take off that additional 10%. But what's more is we've got 100 extra bonus points. Now you think of your 12 days of Craftmas earlier on where we got triple points. That's maybe catapulted you into the next level. Maybe this is going to take you a little bit further. So lots of benefits when it comes to just having the box. The box itself, as we say, $49.99 or $59.95. But if you're platinum, it does come down to $39.99 or $47.96. It's not the only option that we've got though. Maybe you want to treat yourself, maybe you want abundance of goodies to work and complement with Through the Looking Glass. We have got a showstopper deal. Now when it comes to the showstopper deal, you're actually saving 30% on that today's price, which $25.30. What we have got is today's price, £97 or $125. Straight away, that takes you over that £40 mark. But if you are platinum, that comes down to $77.60 or $100 exact. Like I say, it takes you well over that 40. Plus, you do get your 100 extra bonus points. So you do get the box, you get everything that's included, plus you're going to get some of your Country Lane linen cardstock, you're going to get 2 packs of your classics, you're going to get 3 of your water reactive ink pads, you're going to get a blending tool, and you're going to get the stamp cleaning pad as well. That's included. That is everything that you're going to get when it comes to that showstopper. So if you do want to go for that for yourself, maybe just start to divvy it out over Christmas, then you can do, but the option for just the box as well. Either one, you are going to get 100 extra bonus points. We have got loads and loads of you popping in, so I think what we'll do is we'll go straight to Debbie so we can start with this craft along. We've got Grace on the comments tonight who's actually watching the football at the same time when it starts while she's doing social. So we will read your comments out throughout the show, but Debbie will head straight across to you to get started.
Fabulous. And now this is a really nice, easy craft along because the actual box and the mechanism for this actual box is super easy. So I'm going to go through it once and then I'm going to repeat all those steps again to make sure that you've got it and you've got exactly the measurements that you need. So the first thing I want to do is take a sheet of our A4 multi-purpose cardstock and we're going to trim this down. Now this one piece is going to make most of the box. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to do our first piece at 11 inches. So what I want to do is go across and in fact before we do that, let's turn it round. I'm going to just cut this strip down to 2 inches. So we just want to place the shorter side along the top and we're going to place that long side down and we're going to trim that to 2 inches. So that gives us a 2-inch strip. Then we're going to turn it round so the long now part will go against the top of our guillotine and we're going to trim that down to 11 inches. So just round like that. So the reason I changed my mind is because I wanted to keep the biggest part of the card here. Right. So let's take that one. This one we're going to put to the side, okay? So the first strip, and I'll just repeat it, we've got our A4 card, we've trimmed 2 inches across and 11 inches down, so pop that to the side. Now this piece, what I want to do with this, we want 2 pieces that are 3 inches by 6.5 inches. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim that down to 6.5 inches. So just onto there, 6.5 inches. And then I'm going to turn that round and we're going to trim that one to 3 inches. Nearly done 2 inches then. So 3 inches. And then the next one to 3 inches as well. So that gives us 2 pieces of cardstock, 3 inches by 6.5 inches. Okay. So I'm just going to double check that I did do that to 6.5. Yep. So we've got 2 pieces of card and our longer piece of card. So just like so. Okay. Now I'm going to just repeat that for anybody that's catching up with that. Okay. So we're going to take our cardstock. Let me just grab another piece of card. You're going to trim across to 2 inches. So that's your 2 inches and then down to 11 inches. So that gives you your first piece. Turn your card round, cut that down to 6.5 inches and then trim to 3 inches. And you're going to get 2 pieces of card out of that as well. Okay, perfect. So that's how you're going to get all your pieces of card. So if you do need those repeated at any time, then just let Craig know and we can always go back and repeat. I'm going to pop them to the side because the next thing I want to do is bring in another sheet of multi-purpose cardstock, and this time we're going to trim this one down to 9.5. So we're going to go to 9.5 inches, just there. Trim that one down. Now at this point, all your measurements need to be precise. So make sure if you've gone over a bit or under a bit, get a new piece of card because this is what's going to make all your measuring. And then we're going to trim this one down to 2 inches as well. So we're going to go to 2 inches. And what I always do, Craig, just a little tip here, when you've got, and I don't know if you do the same, you've got a line going down on your guillotine, I always make sure that I can see that line. So I do it right against the first point of where it says the 2 inches. And then I always look down and make sure that I'm seeing exactly the same at the bottom there. And that way you know that you've got a completely straight edge on both sides. So when I move this up to each other, I know that from end to end, that's absolutely precise. So we're going to have one piece of that and then take that through again, and then we're going to have 9.5 inches, 2 inches. So 2 inches by 9.5 inches, and that will give you 2 strips. So those 2 strips I'm just going to put to the left of me. We're going to pop our guillotine away, and then we're going to bring back in those pieces that we did earlier. So that's those pieces there. Let me just pop them over there, okay? So we've got 2 pieces that are 3 inches by 6.5, and we've got 1 piece that's 2 inches by 11, okay? Perfect. Now we're going to do our scoring. So, Sian, all okay?
She seems good. Yep, thumbs up.
Sian is looking like she's got some really lovely mood lighting where she is. She's very nice.
Looks
yes,
nice.
Absolutely.
She's got the Christmas jumper as well.
And Christmas jumper, I love it, absolutely. Right, so our 2 pieces, which is our 3 inches by 6.5, we're going to take to our scoreboard and we're going to score this in 2-inch increments. So we're going to score at 2, 4, and 6 inches. Okay. So nice and easy. So that's 2. And I always do it twice, Craig. It just stretches those fibres in the card. Excellent. And then when you come to doing it, and then, hang on, where we can't see, there we go, 6 inches, you know that it's going to fold absolutely fine. So we're going to pop that to the side, and we're going to do exactly the same with the identical piece. Right. So pop that back on your board, and then we're going to go down at 2 inches, at 4 inches, and at 6 inches. There we go. Perfect. Right, so, and then I'm going to do my last piece, and then I'm going to repeat everything again, Craig.
Okey-doke, that would be great.
Right, now, this longer piece, this is your 11 inches by 2 inches, and it's just that one piece. We're going to score this at 3, 5.5, and 8. Okay. So 3 inches, and then 5.5. It's hard to see in the lights. It is with our lights here on the scoreboard. And then we're going to go to 8 inches. So right at the top there. Okay, so that's our pieces. Okay. So now we've got them, what I am going to do is I'm going to repeat that entirely again, so everyone can catch up with us. Is that a good idea? Absolutely, yeah, that would be great. So there was a couple of questions just saying, could we please go over the measurements again? Fabulous, no problem at all. Right, so for everybody that's caught up with that section, same with Sian at home, you don't need to repeat this. Okay. This is just going over exactly what we've just done for anyone that's still catching up. Brilliant. Okay, so you do not need to repeat this. And if you wanted to, it just means it gives you another base to be able to decorate it another time. So if you do want to just practice it, you're more than welcome to do so. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to trim my A4 piece of cardstock down to 2 inches. So 2 inches on our board, and we're going to trim that down. We're going to then turn that piece round, and we're going to trim that down to 11 inches. So just on the 11-inch mark, and then trim that down, okay? So you'll have one strip that's 11 inches by 2 inches, okay? So we'll pop that to the side. Right-yo. Then your biggest piece of card, if I throw the pieces away that we don't need as we go along, you'll know what you don't need. So this little piece we don't need. This piece here, we're going to trim down. So your longest side, you're going to put against your guillotine.
Okay.
And we're going to trim this one down to, let me have a look, 6.5 inches.
Okay.
So 6.5 inches just there. We don't need this piece of card, so I'll get rid of that. And then we're going to turn it round and we're going to trim these pieces to 3 inches.
Excellent.
So now, another little tip here as well, Craig. What I did when I first did this, I went to 6 inches, trimmed that down to 6 inches, and then cut it at 3 inches.
Right.
There was a slight difference in that.
Right,
because it's where you use, because obviously going to the 6 inches and then to the 3, it takes a tiny increment off, and you need that identical. So make sure you do it separate, because honestly, it makes a difference.
Makes
so that's
that difference.
3 inches and then 3 inches. Yeah, because we're doing it exactly the same point of that line that I was talking about earlier.
I see.
So we've got our 2 pieces, which are 3 inches by 6.5 inches, and we've got our 1 piece, which is 2 inches by 11 inches.
Excellent.
So I'm going to pop these to the right-hand side of me, and then we're going to take another piece of card, and this card, we need 2 pieces at 9.5 inches by 2 inches.
Right, yo.
So we're going to go to 9.5 inches, just there, by 2 inches, just there. And then we need another piece, so we'll cut that one down to 2 inches.
And this is all your white multi-purpose?
All white multi-purpose.
Perfect.
I mean, you can do this in whatever, if you want to use a black base. Once you've got these working out, you'll know what to do. This piece here, we don't need it, so you can put that to the side. So you could keep all this cardstock if you want to do your stamping later and colouring in, because you can use it. I mean, we prefer to use a Nina cardstock, but if you don't want to waste it, you can use it. So what you will end up with, pop that bit away, is these pieces of card. Okay,
right,
so I'll just recap one more time and then we'll start our scoring. So these 2 pieces are 2 inches by 9.5. These 2 pieces are 6.5 by 3. And this piece, oh, hang on, yeah, that's right. 2 inches. 2 inches by 11 inches. I'm starting to think I've got a piece that I don't need.
Right, yo.
Let me just double check. Yes, so sorry, that bit, I was trying to throw it away as I went along. So let's just start from the top. We've got 2 pieces that are 3 inches by 6.5.
Yeah.
We've got 1 piece that's 2 inches by 11.
Okay.
And then we've got 2 pieces that are 2 inches by 9.5 inches. Okay, so you should all have those strips now. So what we're going to do is our scoring. Again, these 2 strips we'll do in a minute. So pop those to the side. And then we're going to score these 2 pieces here.
Right.
These are your easy pieces. Well, they're all easy to do, but they really are just in 2-inch increments. So we're going to score this at 2 inches. Now, bearing in mind, this is your 6.5 inches by 3 inches.
Excellent.
2 inches, 4 inches, and then 6 inches. And we're going to do that on both pieces of card.
On both of them,
yep.
right.
So again, 2 inches, 4 inches, and then your 6 inch. Okay, so that's those 2 pieces. So we'll set them aside. And then we're going to bring in the longer part, which is your 11 inches by 2 inches. So we didn't do this. This is where we got up to.
Yes.
So if Sian, if you're listening there, this is the bit we're now on, with that 2 inch by 11 inches. And we're going to score this. So it's, we're going to score this one. It's 2 inches by, we're going to score it 3 inches, 5.5 and 8 inches. So we've got 3 inches, 5.5. Might have already done this one, actually, thinking about it. And then going up to the 8 inches. Okay. So you've got your 3 score lines on there. So we're going to pop that to the side. Now we're going to bring these 2 pieces in. Now both of them are going to be scored the same, but there's a lot of score lines in this one, okay? So listen carefully for this. Then we'll have a break, I think, Craig. Let everyone catch up with that scoring.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to score this with half. So this one, just there. So we've got 9.5 inches across, 2 inches down. We're going to come in at 1/2 inch. So we're going to score at 1/2 inch to start with. Then we're going to go to 1¼ inch. So 1/2 inch, 1¼ Then we're going to go to 2 inches. Then we're going to go to 2 3/4. And then we're going to go to 2 3/4, 3.5 inches. So 3.5, then 5, so 5 inches, then 5 3/4. Making sure you're keeping this at this end all the time. So holding that in place, making sure it doesn't slip out. So the last one we did was our 5 3/4. Then we're going to do 6.5, 7¼ and 8 inches.
Okay.
That's our final line, the 8-inch one. Okay, and we're going to repeat that again. So our other piece of card, again, this is our 9.5 inches by 2 inches. Place that really right against that line and come in at 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch, then we're going to go 1¼ Then we're going to go 2 inches. Then we're going to go 2 3/4. Then 3.5. Then we're going to go 5 inches. And then 5 3/4. And then 6.5. And then 7¼ I feel like a bingo caller. And then 8 inches. Okay, so that gives us all our score lines. Now, would you like me to repeat those again?
You could
because
do,
we've
yeah.
got those two pieces that we did, so let's repeat those ones. And this would be good maybe for someone, if you've already done it, you could then write these out while if you've already scored, then write these out.
Yeah.
So you know you've already got them.
I deliberately stayed so quiet while you were going through all those measurements.
Absolutely. So let's do that again. I'll just do one. We don't have to do both of them, but you'll have 2 when you've done them all. So we're going to do a 1/2 inch. Now remember, I'm pretty sure that someone puts these on our Facebook page. Do they still, does Taylor do that?
Usually it's ourselves, Debbie, would just take a picture of the
See, I had
instructions.
an email to say that to send them the instructions because they would place them on there.
Oh,
so
maybe they will then.
So I need to check on that. But if not, I will take a picture and do it then, Craig. So 1/2 inch, 1¼ 2 inches, we've got 2 3/4, 3.5, 5 inches. I think I've missed one there. Hang on, 3.5, then 5 inches. Thought I'd missed one. 5 3/4, 6.5. 7¼ and then our last one is 8 inches. Okay, right, so that's it. We've done all our scoring to be able to make our box.
Brilliant.
So let's let everyone catch up with them. I'm just going to show you what I've got straight away. So our 2 long pieces, our 2 3 inches by 6.5, and then our longer one piece, which is 11 by 2 inches. Okay.
Thanks, Debbie. I think that was really worthwhile, just really taking the time and reiterate, because there was so many measurements.
Absolutely.
So I think that definitely was a good thing to do. Right, let's actually jump in and see how Shan's getting on. I know I was watching her on our screens that we've got throughout that, and she was busy beavering away. You managed that all okay, Shan?
Yeah, all okay, all scored and cut.
All perfect. Were you just following along exactly with Debbie, or what I mean by that is afterwards, were you taking notes as well in the little sections Debbie was going over them?
Yeah, I was taking notes as well.
Yeah, it works out handy doing it, and then it's as Debbie, you said, you've got them then for future afterwards if you want to do it again. Well, we shall leave you be for a moment, Shan. We'll come back again just shortly and see how you're getting on with the next steps.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't forget as well, you can always go back and watch all of our craft-alongs on our YouTube at any time. The only difference is it won't be live, but do you know what? You can rewind, pause, etc, etc. Right, let's dip in and say hello to lots of you that are watching on this Saturday evening here in the UK. We've got Kimberly Millwood, we've got, Kimberly saying, good afternoon from North Carolina, crafty friends at CCTV crew. Wendy Myers is from Oregon, Kendall is from Minnesota, Aileen is saying good afternoon from Puerto Rico. Fred171, greetings from California. Lynn is in Chile, Isle of Wight. So it's warm in here, but it's chilly out there as well today, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It really is. Dieta is saying, hello everyone, I'm sitting when I should be doing. It's the thing on a Saturday night when there's things you maybe want to be doing, but you end up just getting distracted.
I think a Saturday night is first sitting.
It is, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Sitting, maybe a little alcoholic beverage.
Watching the footy.
I don't know. Yeah.
If anyone's not guessed, Craig is not a footballer person.
I just very, very, very quickly, while we were all going over the show and we had the football on, and you were talking about what was happening on one of the matches, and I was like, so why is he crying? What goal was that meant to go? What's going on there? So yeah, I think some of them actually didn't even finish their tea before they went into prep with the show because they were getting excited. I don't know. Says me who watches the wrestling and I get excited. I climb the couch and everything with excitement like you've seen a couple of months ago. Anyway, we've got CJ Pandacrafts is saying hello again from a cold and cloudy Ontario. That will be cold. Bobby is saying good morning from Cloudcroft, New Mexico. We've got Anne in, we've got Mary Reno, Olga's in, Curran's in. We've got Bobby is saying, like your shirt or love your shirt. I'm not sure if it's me or you both, probably both of us. We've got Coletta saying, hello from Kansas. My grandkids, I think that's meant to be, are here and we are making foam gingerbread houses with glitter gumdrops and candies.
Oh, how nice is that?
Nice. We've got Peggy saying good afternoon everyone. I love to craft along. Karen Wells is saying hello from Kentucky. Karen, I dug out the other half of your sweets that you sent for the weekend crew, so we've been kind of having a wee munch on them. Few earlier on we asked about the measurements again, which we went over. Karen Carter saying, I absolutely love this collection. We've got Carol saying, good evening, everyone. And Christina saying, hello, everyone. So is Rachel Brown saying, good evening, everyone. Just watching tonight, but I will save this and give it a go later.
Oh, fabulous.
Which is good as well.
Absolutely.
Do it live, watch back. It's entirely up to yourself,
Yes.
of course. So we are featuring Sarah's Through the Looking Glass. We do have, there's two options. The one on your screen at the moment is just for the box alone. So you are $49.99 or $59.95. Platinum price does come down to $39.99 or $47.96. You are getting 100 extra bonus points. And what I would say as well, certainly here in the UK, up until midnight tonight, wherever you are across the globe, if you spend 40, you're going to get an additional 10% off. So as you can see, in the UK, that's $39.99. If you pop across to our website, maybe get a scoring tool or some foam pads or glue gel or something just to take you over to that £40 mark, then you'll be able to take advantage of that additional 10%. At checkout, promo code, capital letters, if you can just type in CMAS10, that's going to activate that additional 10% for you across on the website, but ends midnight your time, wherever you are across the globe. Right, so we seem to be all good, no questions or anything like that. We're all good, Shan's all good. I think, Debbie, are you okay if we just pop back to you?
Absolutely, yes,
Yeah,
let's
perfect.
get constructing. Right, so we've got our 5 pieces. We're going to pop our 2 longer pieces to the side and our strip to the side as well. So we've got these 2 pieces here and we're just going to fold them. I'm not actually going to burnish them, Craig.
Okay.
I don't want them to be burnished. I just want them to have that nice curved edge.
Okay.
So we always say about burnishing, but
Yeah.
actually you don't need any harsh lines on here. And then we're going to do the same. So you can see I just bend backwards. So almost like we're creating a valley on each fold. And this is your base, literally. So each piece will connect to the other. So that is how simple.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. That's how simple that bottom box is. So then it will just fold together once it's stuck.
Yeah.
So we've got those pieces. The other thing I do want to do though, just to make it neater, your little strip, the 1/2 inch, I just like to put some triangles at the side. And that means when we glue the side pieces in, it doesn't matter if one comes up a little bit or down, it just makes it a lot neater.
Right.
So we're just going to come in on both those just edge 1/2 inch pieces, and we're just going to cut a little triangle off to just mitre our corners really. So we're going to pop that there, and then all I'm going to do, now you could use a wet glue, I'm just going to use my tape pen. So I'm just going to bring in the tape pen, and this side here we're just going to pop our glue into place. Oh look, we've got to the silver, we're on the end. Let me just grab another tape pen.
That might be my fault.
Oh, I haven't got one.
Oh.
Haven't got one. I will, in fact, I'll tell you what I'll use.
I'm going to
use, oh bless you, but I'm going to use our red liner tape because it's ultra strong. I bet Craig obviously used it all yesterday, did he? So, and all I'm going to do is pop that down the side there, like so. And actually, that will keep it extra strong then. Ah, Craig, you're a little gem. It's got me some more tape pens. So let's just take those. Thank you, Craig. And then I'm just going to pop that down to make sure that's burnished in. And then I've got my tape pen now, so we can just pop that to the other side. And I'm just making sure that we've got that completely covered. So I'm only going to do one side, only because, Craig,
Sorry,
yes?
no, I was just about to say, only because when we were all going over the show earlier on, I was doing bits of prep for my shows tomorrow. I may have used your tape runner.
Oh, that's okay.
And used it all.
That's okay. So I did think that was strange because I thought I'd got a new one earlier. So you must have used quite a bit. What you're doing tomorrow? Have to tune in. Right, so I'm just doing one side of that for now. But I mean, it doesn't matter, we can do both, in fact, because once you've done your box, it will just fold flat anyway. So what we can do, and I'm going to do that, is take off the extra tape here and glue all our sides together. There we go. So I can just fold that over, making sure that that's nice and straight and goes right to the opposite side. There we go. Now I'm just burnishing that down so I know that's caught, and that's it. That is your pop-up mechanism.
Awesome.
So nice and simple. Now it gets even more simpler, Craig. So let's bring in our one single strip. Remember, we've got two pieces that are the same size. Now we've got this one.
Okay.
Now this one, all we're going to do, again, we're going to mountain fold each side, not burnishing again. So this side is what connects the two pieces together. So that works perfectly inside there. That now gives me a platform to stick something onto, but still folds flat. Yeah, still folds flat. So what you want to make sure you do when you're positioning this, you want to make sure that lays flat and that lays flat, because then when it pops up, it will then go back in all the time, okay? So what I am going to do with this one, I'm going to use some wet glue.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring in our tacky glue. Let's make sure, I'm just checking because yesterday Debbie had some fabric glue.
Oh,
so
did
I was just checking it wasn't still the, oh no, the we got the leakage. It's just spilled out all over the top. Was that Craig's fault as well?
No, that was not my fault, thank you.
Well, it's never happened before. Look at that.
That's unusual, that, isn't it?
That is very unusual. I'm wondering if it had been upside down for a while. It's got all paint round it as well. Look, it's a mucky one. Don't know what's been happening with that. Never mind, we got there, we got there. So all I'm going to do is we're going to place some glue. Now, if like you, sometimes the glue comes out a little bit wetter than you want it to, just put it down the middle. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. Now, again, it's tacky glue, so if you don't want to touch it, then just put your glue on, you can put it straight down. I like to do this because that way I know it's going to all the corners and it's not going to splurge out anywhere else. So I'm just making sure it goes exactly where I need it to go. And then all I'm going to do is pop that inside. I'm going to pop that to the bottom so it's hitting the bottom because that's going to work perfectly then in that mid-centre. You see?
Yeah.
Right in the centre there. So I know that is positioned exactly where I want it. And all I'm doing now is checking that my glue is not splurging out anywhere else, because if I was to hold that down, if it comes out the side, it's going to stick that together.
Yeah.
I don't want that stuck together, which is why I sort of positioned it a little bit. Now, can you see mine's not completely straight, but I'm not going to worry about that because actually I don't need my box folding that way. I just want it to fold this way and to pop out. So it's just got that mechanism.
Yeah.
So that is how you do your box. I mean, that's simple, isn't it?
I can't believe that. It's so easy, isn't it?
Now, what happened with this is when you start building up, so if I bring this in here, when you start building up, it then makes it top heavy. So you need to ground your box. So this is what makes it pop up. So if I pop that to the side, now we're going to bring in these two pieces. Now we're going to start, you'll have a little lip of your 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do is fold that up. You're going to have a mountain fold and valley fold, and you're going to do that all the way along.
Right.
Mountain and valley fold, and then you'll get to this bit here. Again, I'm not burnishing, and we're going to do the same, but we're going to bend it the opposite direction, okay? So I'm going to do that again.
Okay.
We've got a mountain fold, valley fold, mountain fold, valley fold, and then we're going to do a mountain fold, valley fold, mountain fold, valley fold, mountain fold.
Right.
So you get this sort of spring mechanism, okay? And again, I'm not burnishing that down. I want that to be squidgy. You see, have that squidginess about it. And then what I'm going to do is on this lip at the side, we're going to add our tape pen.
So I suppose if you're familiar with making rosettes, it's starting off in that same way, mountain, valley, mountain, valley.
Absolutely.
But instead of going all the way, you're stopping and then doing it on reverse again.
Yes, absolutely. And all we're doing then is we're going to stick that piece to the other end. And I'm just going to make sure I really rub that down, because when you heat up this tape pens, it makes them more sticky, and then they won't come apart. That'll really be quite strong. So that gives me my first one, but that's not enough. So we're going to do another one, and we're going to attach the two together. So I'll repeat it again. If you need me to repeat it again, just let me know. We've got another one we can do it with.
Okay.
So again, take the smallest bit, because you've got quite a big square at the end here. You're going to take the one where you've got that 1/2 inch. We're going to mountain fold, so you bend it down towards yourself, and then we're going to valley fold, mountain fold, valley fold, and mountain fold. Okay, so that gives me my first bit. And then you can tell, you can do the opposite then. So we're going to mountain fold down, and then valley fold, mountain fold, valley fold, and mountain fold. And that then gives you your piece, almost like that little book that comes in together.
Yeah.
And then you're just going to glue that little tab again. Okay, so hopefully, but how easy is this, Craig?
That's, when you initially showed that to me earlier on today, it's like, wow, that's cool. But I was like, right, yeah, I can see where this is a craft along. It's going to take a wee while to do that complicated
absolutely.
bit. But it really, really isn't.
It isn't at all. So again, I'm just going to make sure that we really rub that down. Just heat activate that glue that's in there, like so, and then that gives me my spring panel. And then all we want to do, we want to put these two panels together, and then that gives us a really, look at this, it's like that accordion style.
Isn't it? Yeah.
So we're going to, again, I'm going to actually use a wet glue because we've got time to allow that to dry. So let's pop that on. And again, I'm just going to make sure that goes to the ends and doesn't squidge out too much. Just going to wipe the rest onto that side. And then just place these two pieces together. And the reason I use the wet glue, because then I can maneuver it a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to see it. But I'm just going to hold that together just while that tacky glue takes effect. But you can use your red liner tape, so that's a great one to use because that will hold it as well. And actually you can even use your tape pen as well. I just like to use a wet glue, then I know that I can maneuver it about. Just going to make sure I'm going to push these two pieces on the inside to make sure they're all good. like so. And we're not going to put this mechanism in yet because we want to decorate our box first, and it's harder to decorate with this in because this is what's helping it stand. So if I pop that in there like that, see, that is your bottom part that's going to stick in here, which will help it go backwards and forwards. So it's a very clever little card, isn't it?
It really is.
But we're not going to put that in yet because we want to actually decorate the front of our card. So shall we let everyone catch up with doing their mechanisms? Anybody, any issues or need to just be updated with how to make this inner part, let Craig know, and we can always repeat that.
Perfect, thanks Debbie. At the moment we seem to be okay, but as Debbie just said there, if anything, do let us know. We've got Marion is saying, I've been lucky to find a husband who hates football almost as much as I do. Christine is saying, love this Sara signature collection. So many possibilities. Karen Wells-Sorella saying, glad you enjoying the candy. I know I always laugh because it's another word. You guys stateside will say candies, we say sweeties. I know it's the same thing, but Val Lloyd is saying, hi Craig and Debbie, taking notes to have a go later on as usual. Val in Southampton. Always, whenever you do a craft along as well, like today's one, if you're doing it live with Debbie or even afterwards, do make sure, post them in our groups and tag Debbie, you know, because I know that when we all do our craft along, it's lovely to see what you're making, and I know you love to see it, don't you, Debbie?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, totally.
Dawn is saying, hi everyone, hope you're all well, just waiting on the football. Dieta is saying, that would be a really nice style of card for butterflies. So if you've got loads of butterflies coming
amazing.
up, it would be. And Mary Reno is saying, how cool is that, Debbie? It really is.
Thank you.
It really, really is. As Debbie was saying, we're just going to take a moment to let anyone catch up. We do seem to be all good at the moment, which is good to hear. So what we are going to do at the moment is, you may not have seen him for a little wee while. He is back next week. Woohoo! He and Sara are in Aberdeen tonight, my neck of the woods, with their
Penultimate, yeah.
That one. Up in Aberdeen, of course, of their Christmas tour. So they're there, but Ben will be back next week. So if you've not seen him or heard anything about him, here's Ben to tell you, well, all about himself.
Hello, I'm Ben, and I'm one of the presenters on Crafters TV. So my presenting journey started when I was about 18. I started working at a holiday park here in the UK. Our US viewers might not know it, but there's like a holiday park called Butlins. So what's involved with being a presenter? Well, my day-to-day kind of is ensuring I know everything that's on the show, ensuring that the guys that I'm working with obviously are happy with everything that's on the show. And I kind of feel like what I do, I'm sort of like the glue in the show, if you like. A bit of a crafty reference for you. So kind of listening to the guys in the gallery, the producer, the director, I'm sort of always listening to what they want me to do whilst the crafters are crafting. So I feel like I'm there as the glue, keeping sort of everything, as it should be. But I also think my job is to have a lot of fun, which I think I do on most days. Get the viewers interacting, because we always love to hear from our viewers, and I think that's one thing that we do here that you don't get anywhere else, is that interaction, having people like commenting, asking a question, and then straight away we're able to react, we're able to answer that question, we're able to read out that comment, we're able to join them in singing their rendition of Foam on a Roll. Yes. I've helped to run the show, I help to inspire, to educate, to entertain, and just sort of generally be a good all-round bloke. So who inspires me? My dad is a big inspiration for me. He's one of my best friends, and I probably speak to him twice a week, but he's always sort of instilled a good work ethic in me. His big catchphrase is work hard and play hard, and that's something that I live by, is to put all your effort in when you're at work, and make sure you're doing a good job, but then when you're outside of work, make sure you have time to kind of have fun, spend with your friends, spend with your family. So I always remember that. Apart from Crafters TV, what else am I passionate about? Well, obviously I'm passionate about my family. I love to spend time with my family, with my wife, my 2 children, and my 3 pets now, because we just got another dog recently, a puppy, which is killing me. I've got no sleep. Also passionate about sport. I think a lot of our viewers know I'm a big rugby fan. Running I like to do, but again, the old knees are beginning to hurt just a bit. I'm getting old. Oh, so many amazing experiences connecting with our viewers. Always get sent cards, which is lovely on sort of special occasions, and birthday cards every year. I always get cards sent through, which is so nice to come in and have, you know, some cards, and you can send presents as well if you like. I've never had a present yet, so if anyone wants to send presents, you can. Do you know what? I haven't had many presenter fails, particularly here. Actually, here, presenter fails, knocking over pack shots. I'm very bad at doing that. If you stack a pack shot too high, chances are I'm going to get exuberant in my arms and knock it over. My biggest moment of pride or biggest achievement, I've got a few. I mean, these are big for me. You'll probably laugh. I ran the London Marathon. I was a Guinness World Record holder. I've got the certificate for that up on the wall alongside my marathon photo and alongside my foam and roll caricature. My Guinness World Record was for naming the most amount of Beatles songs from their opening lyrics in 1 minute. I've had things named after me over the years. I had an alpaca named after me. If you are ever in Aylesbury, do make sure that you go and drive around the roundabout, which is near the Waterside Theatre there, because you'll find that that particular roundabout is named after me. Oh yes, I have a roundabout named after me, big time.
Oh, we were just talking about our favourite Christmas films and our traditional things that we like to do. Just been in such a Christmassy, cheery, fun mood today that we've been talking about all these different things. So we were talking about it earlier on when it came to Wake Up Call. Wake Up Call, no, this is Saturday, Craig. Play your crafts right, because we were doing a game with Christmas films. If you've not seen Play Your Crafts Right, afterwards, always go back. After the football, of course, if you watch the football. If not, just go back afterwards. Not later on, because I'm doing a live tonight. Still doing my live tonight, my advent calendar. I'll go over that again later on in the show. But we seem to be really, really good. All really good, no questions as such. A couple of comments, but what I'll do is I'll save a few of these ones up and then we'll come back to have a little bit of a break. We'll go through the comments. But by the sounds of it, by the looks of it, Debbie, your instructions with the inside of that pop-out element, crystal clear, and everyone were fine?
Fabulous, that's exactly what we want to hear. Right, so the next thing we're going to do our mats and layers, and then we can get on to some colouring and die cutting. So I've got two of my papers from the box. You can use whichever ones that you like. I'm using my blue ones and these beautiful ones here. I mean, honestly, you can choose any of them and you're going to love them, whichever ones you choose. So the blue, we're going to trim this. Now I need 3 panels of this one, and we're going to trim it 2 3/4 to 1 3/4.
Okay.
So 2 3/4. Just like so. And then we're going to have 3 of these at 1 3/4. So 1 3/4, and again in at 1 3/4, and then one more at 1 3/4.
Okay.
So that's your 3 panels. Now, if you wanted to, you could decorate the back, Craig. So if you wanted to go ahead and do these 3 more times, you can. And what I mean by that is the back here has got nothing on it. But if you wanted to decorate that, you could. And you could decorate the inside if you wanted to, but you don't need to. So that's our 3 there. Then I'm going to bring in these pieces, and we're going to do exactly the same, but this time we're going to do them slightly smaller, and we're going to bring these in at 2.5 by 1.5. Okay. So first of all, my 2.5. Let's just pop that down there, and then we're going to do 1.5. So that's 1 piece, and then another 1.5. In fact, I'm going to have these pieces because these look fun. Another 1.5. Oh, there. And then a 1.5. Just picking the pieces that have got a bit more colour in, although we are going to be covering them up a little bit.
And they're quite simple measurement mats and layers, aren't they, as well?
Very much so, yeah, very much so. And these are just going to fit perfectly then together to go on the front of our card. And we're going to just mat and layer these right on top like so. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tape pen. Now, if you're, I was just going to say if you're a bit wonky, but I didn't mean it like that. I meant if you Sometimes people can't get their cardstock straight in the middle of their card. I would absolutely recommend getting some wet glue on these, but actually, even if it's a little bit wonky, I never mind too much. There used to be a time, Craig, where I couldn't have it. I'd have to literally cut another extra piece. But if it's a bit wonky now, I don't worry too much.
No, you don't worry about it.
And there's always something that you can cover it with if you need to. So we're going to be putting pieces on the front of this. So all I'm doing is putting my tape down each side. I do like to go round all the corners, and that way if there are any radiators nearby or, you know, heaters that could sometimes get underneath your panels, you don't want everything to fall off.
No.
So if you make sure it's all the way round and rub it down, then it works really well. And then we're going to bring in our panel, and all I'm going to do with this, we're going to layer these panels on the front here, just like so. Okay, so we're going to glue these pieces on the front. So again, just using that glue all the way round, and then pop that onto that front panel. They're going to fit perfectly and give you a really nice, just little white outline.
And although the blue's really effective, you could imagine how of a different take it would be if you used the red card instead.
Absolutely.
Same pattern paper, but the red card. Or
Yes.
choose to use a different pattern paper. So although the whole design would be the same, you're just giving it a little bit of a different spin.
And also, Craig, you could use any papers you've got as well. You know, if you wanted to go for a completely different design, your wisteria would look lovely on here. Especially if you put your nesting dies on there and have your wisteria hanging down from it. That would look beautiful. I think once you've got sort of the concept of these cards, you'll be making loads and doing all your own take on them. But I love the fact that they pop up. And like I say, you don't need that element inside because they do fold flat and pop up as well. But when you start decorating, they will start to be a little bit top heavy. Right, so once we've got to that part, we can, in fact, I'm going to leave that till last, I think, but I think we're going to do some die cutting now, Craig.
Okay.
So shall we just let people catch up with this
let's do
piece,
that.
and then we'll do our die cutting.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds good to me. Yeah, rightio. Let's see how Shan's getting on. How are you getting on, Shan?
Yeah, good.
Oh, look.
Yay.
Isn't that beautiful?
So lovely.
Shan, can I ask, have you ever seen this style of project before?
No, never seen it.
No, that's what me and Debbie were saying in our last break there when Debbie was going over it, and I was saying I'd never seen it before, and it looked as though that many people hadn't. So I was just wondering if you'd seen it as well. Following along, all okay when it comes to the craft along?
Yeah, following on okay. It's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be when I initially saw the project.
Yeah.
So it's a fun card shape.
It is, and again, we were saying that as well. At first, you think, oh.
Yep. And I think that's what's really important, isn't it? Is that sometimes we want things to look like we've took hours and hours and hours, but to have them, and it's the knowing more than anything else. Once you know and you think, wow, honestly, I think I'm going to be making these, Sean, all the time because I love the concept and they're super cute to do.
They really are.
Yeah.
They really, really are. Well, once again, Shan, we'll dot back to you later on in the show. If there is any you need to ask her, though, just give us a shout and then we'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Okay, Doc, see you soon. There was just one question there before we go on, Debbie. It was Olga saying, please could you repeat those measurements again for the mat and layers?
Yes, of course. So the actual blue card around the base layer is 1 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then the actual pattern cardstock is 1.5 by 2.5. So nice and easy, and they're the correct panels to just go onto those front panels. So again, 2 3/4 by 1 3/4, and then the inside pattern card is 2.5 by 1.5.
Perfect. Just a couple of comments before we go straight back to Debbie there. Dieta saying, after the holidays, I'll be making this with butterflies.
Oh, fabulous.
Once again, really a good idea. Mary Reno is saying, it's really, really clever, Debbie. Thanks for showing us how to make it.
Oh, thank you. And I have to be honest, I did just get it off of Pinterest. I can't remember whose blog or post it was, but it was only one on there that I could find, and I just thought it was really good. And I must remember to give a shout out to the people that we get the ideas from, because you know, I put my own take on it, but it is an idea that I've got off of Pinterest. So, and it's just nice that we can share that with you.
Exactly, it really, really is. Mary's also saying that would look really cute with snowmen, which it would.
Oh, yes.
And then Eleanor is saying, Craig, my granddaughter loves your shirt, but she says, where is your elf ears? As she says that they would look great if you had them on, Craig. You need to have them, my friend.
It's such a shame. Oh.
Well, I don't have elf ears, but I do have...
Oh, no, now you look like Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
We've actually got a hat at home. Al's been wearing it all over since December, and it's actually it's a green hat, but it's got the elf ears on the side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have bought that in for you. But
Yeah,
you do look like Robin Hood now.
Yeah, I look like Robin Hood. Definitely not like an elf with the ears there, but you know.
My Friar Tuck.
You're Maid Marian.
Ah, Johnny.
That's what Johnny just said. Yeah. So yeah, no ears. Maybe I'll look to see, although I do look like a clown.
No, you don't. They're very handsome in that, Craig.
Shush. Stop it. Let's just go back to you. Stop it.
He'll go all red now. He'll go all red. Right, so now we're going to do, I've just got a scrap piece of a white card that we cut out earlier, and we're going to use our biggest nesting die. So I'm using my scalloped edge ones. These are just our scalloped edge circle nesting dies. You could use any nesting dies. I'll give you the measurement just in case you're using anything different. And this one is about 4.5 inch square. So 4.5 inch square. We're going to cut that one out. Now, I've forgotten to bring my other nesting dies, which were my stitched edge ones. I'm going to go down and I'm just going to use some of these. So I'm going to go down the second one in. So we've took in our top one, and then I've left one, then took the next one, then I'm going to leave one and then take the next one as well. And we're going to cut those in together, okay? So what we want to do is create that sort of frame. And the reason I want to do that is because we also want to use this die here. So if I bring that in, when we make this, I want to show a bit of that blue, but I want to be able to see through the inside, because we want to make a shaker element out of it. So we're going to pop those two together, and I'm going to just bring in some low tack tape. So just taping those ones. I'm just making sure that they're pretty even all the way around. But again, because we're covering them, it's not going to matter too much. I'm just going to put a bit each side and then pop that one on. And then bring in my Gemini plates. So let's just run those ones through. And because I'm using my Gemini, I can then place both onto one, just making sure I've got my cutting edge facing down. And then just run those through. But like I say, it doesn't have to be circle ones. You can use whatever shape you want. It's the one thing that I really love about this shape of card. The topper element is entirely up to you what you put onto it. And it really doesn't matter. If you've only got square nesting dies, you can use your square nesting dies. You might just have, you might be quite new to crafting, and you might just have the one that's in there. Even that on the top is just going to look really pretty. So, you know, it's just that I wanted to fill a bit more of the gap. The other thing that would be nice, looking at it like this, someone said about the snowman, it would be lovely to have some acetate strips coming out with snowflakes standing out of the sides of them. That would look really nice as well. It's funny, isn't it? Once you start sort of a craft like this, loads of like people are giving, everybody is giving their take on it and saying what it'd be nice with, and it is one of those designs. It's a little bit like, I don't know if you're the same, Craig, but I love a TP card.
Yeah, do you know something? I do, but oh my gosh, it's been ages since I've made one of them.
But I love them, and I would make them all the time. Same with shaker cards. I love shaker cards. I make them all the time. But I do love a TP card. But I'm thinking doing this might take over a little bit.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I love doing this style of card. I think it's just, it's got a wow factor about it. It looks really cool. Right, so the next thing I want to do, I meant to cut that at the same time. I want to use this paper because I want to tie that in with the bottom of my box.
Right.
So what I am going to do is just bring in that same die. So let me bring in all the dies so you know which one. So we've got our 3 different sizes. I'm going to bring that middle one in, which is the outside cutting edge, because then what I can do is die cut out this middle section. It doesn't really matter where you put it on your card, so I'm just going to place it anywhere, and we're just going to cut that out, because this is just to give it a little bit of a background and also just tone it in with those colours that we've got at the base.
You know what's also good with this style as well, Debbie, is I know you're using the large Gemini, but as a card maker, you would not think that this has been made with a small die cutting machine.
Yes.
Like all the elements that you are cutting would go through the smaller one. So it's a big, it's a concept, it's a kinetic one, but it's actually all done if you've only got a small machine with a small machine.
Absolutely. And that's definitely how your mind thinks, Craig, because you love your Junior, don't you? It's the one you use the most. So that gives me my 2 sections, so you can see that fits absolutely perfect into that piece, and that's going to then fit perfect onto our background. So we're going to stick all these into place, but before we do, what I do want to do is we're going to die cut this frame. So this is going to come off of here. And actually, while we're doing this, Craig, let's cut a few of these pieces out as well. We might as well get all our die cutting done. So I want my rabbit, and I want to cut the rabbit out of, or the hare, isn't it? Is it the hare in Alice in Wonderland?
It's...
The white rabbit is the rabbit.
Yeah,
yes,
the rabbit, isn't it?
I've got lots of pieces of cards. I don't want to just go into another piece. So let's pop that onto there.
I'm familiar with Alice in Wonderland. I've seen it, but when this first launched, it was like I was saying, is, you know, my era was like sort of Pinocchio in that sort of time zone. So I have seen Alice in Wonderland, but like if you were to ask me right now, Craig, what's exactly the story of Alice in Wonderland, it'd be like, well, she eats or drinks and goes large or small. See, even now I'm questioning myself. Yeah, she goes small, doesn't she? Small, yeah.
Yes. Eat me, drink me. Yeah, eat me to go small. No, drink me to go small, eat me to get big, is it? Or is it the other way around? I'm now questioning it, Craig. Eat to go big, eat me. Yes, drink to go. Someone will let us know.
Yeah, they will. Grace is saying, oh, I love it. Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, it is a lovely story. Right, so let's just place those through and have them out. And then we want to take a piece of acetate as well. So I have got a piece of construction acetate. If you've just got our normal heat-resistant acetate, which is a bit more flimsier, that's absolutely fine as well.
Okay?
Yeah, absolutely. It will still do the same job. All you're wanting it to do is just hold your sequins in place. So let's just take all those pieces out. We're going to take our little rabbit out. So we've got our rabbit there. So, there he is. There he is. He's jumping away, Craig.
He's jumping, he's hopping away.
Hopping away.
Right,
so let's bring that one. Just don't want to lose my dies. Pop them on there. And there we go. Pop them on. Now, with your acetate, just checking, I took mine off earlier, so we've took them off. So it's awful. We're going to hear commentary now, aren't we?
Yeah, we are getting commentary.
So what I want to do, I want to create this piece on here. We want to stick that onto the back of here. Now, because it's see-through, you haven't got to worry. I'm not going to worry about getting that exact shape. So what I do want to do, I am just going to take this and we're going to stick this around. So all I'm going to do is take my dotty tape pen.
Okay.
Let's find that. And then let's just take a piece of this card. We're going to apply our dotty tape pen all the way around here, like so. This will make sure that our acetate will stick to that perfectly. Just making sure we've got plenty on because I don't want the acetate coming away. Just like so. And then we're going to just place this onto here, like so. And then turn it over onto the back and then burnish it down. And then really burnish all those dots in.
Okay.
So just like that, and then round. And then what I want to do is we're just going to trim around there, because I'm not worried. You can actually fussy cut. So you'd love this, Craig. So we're just going to fussy cut around all those pieces.
What a great way to show how you can do your acetate backing for something, if you are doing a shaker, with something that's really intricate.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you're not going to notice them, but if anyone does notice them, it just follows the shape of the actual design. So there we go. I'll pop that all down there and around.
I can actually, as most of you know at home, we've got a few monitors in front. I can actually see Shan fussy cutting her acetate. She seems to like it like I do as well.
Oh, she's a bit, she's very
on the
nifty,
go.
yes. It's a shame we can't, the viewers can't see you at home. And then we've got our piece here. So we are going to bring in our foam on a roll. Foam on a roll, foam on a roll, foam on a roll, foam on a roll, foam on a roll. Hey! Buddy liked it. Look his face.
I thought we were actually going to get to the end of the day because you picked up that earlier on today and there was nothing.
Good. Do you know what it was, Craig? I thought to myself, I can't get away with it twice in a day. I knew I was going to be using it on tonight's show, and I knew we'd probably have much more people watching.
They're all going.
Can't not do it, can we? I've got me Ben in. He's in on Tuesday with me. He'll sing it. He's back in, yes, back in. I've got Lily presenting with me on Tuesday morning, and then I've got Ben in at 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So it's going to be a fabulous day.
It really is. Even Grace is going, yes, Debbie!
They love it, Craig. They love it.
I don't.
Right, so just putting all those pieces round, and it really is a case of just following around there. Now, you'll see, well, you don't see much at all. You might see a tiny little bit around there, but no one is going to notice that whatsoever. So what we're going to do is put this together first. So I'm going to use, let's bring in that piece of card. We're going to use our dotty tape pen, and we're going to go around the back of our little frame that we've done.
Oh, you've started something now, Debbie, in the comments. they're all going, they're all singing.
I know, everyone sings. Do you know what I love? I think there are hundreds of houses out there that when we do sing it, they can't help it. Even people that don't like it or it annoys them can't help but sing it. It's just a happy song.
How many husbands are watching the football and the wives are there singing foam on a roll? And I will say, or the opposite way around, you know, we do know that there's male crafters, but yeah, the guys, let's just say, guys are watching the football and the women are there going, foam on a roll, foam on a roll.
Yeah, it's like a football chant. You're right there, Johnny.
Debbie at a concert, shouting and chanting foam on a roll.
Oh, I think we need to do that. Me and Debbie are going to see Harry Styles next year.
Well, I think you'll be chanting something other than
I think,
foam on a roll.
Well, Debbie reckons she's going to be throwing some of her garments at
really?
Yes. She does make me laugh.
Sarah Davies' employee jailed for throwing...
Throwing her undies. Right, so we've got our topper there, and then we've got this. So you've noticed that I would have left that open. I've took my outside backing off, and then what I'm going to do is just position where, I'm not sticking it down, I'm just seeing where I want it to go. So I know that if I get my little sequins, so we're going to get our little packet of red sequins, if I position them into the middle, I know that that's going to be absolutely fine. So just going to tip some of these out. Now, if you wanted to, you could use your little, oh, the word's going out of my head, Craig, what is it? To stop the anti-static bag, that's the one. Yep, you could use your anti-static bag, so that will stop them going anywhere else. And then just sort of push them down so you're not getting any big lumps in them. And then once you've got that into place, we're just then going to place our little shaker elements. So I'm going to do that just on the top there, making sure I've got them all encapsulated.
I'm not surprised. One Harry Styles fan to another, Grace, is saying just loads of ha, 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 ha. I'm crying. That's so funny.
And there you go, that's our little shaker element.
I love that, Debbie. How cool is that?
Yeah, and it just gives you that little shaker element. So if we bring this one back in, and then we're going to, this is then going to adorn the front of our card. And that's when you stick this on and you start embellishing it, it can be a bit top heavy. So to stop that being top heavy, we're going to take our middle elements now. And then the last thing we've got to do is we've got a really nice amount of time to just decorate the front. This piece here, we're going to do exactly the same, Craig. I'm going to hold it together and I'm going to bring in my tacky glue again.
Okay.
And we're just going to put some tacky glue on the front and the back of this. So just on here. And again, I just want to make sure that we're putting that right to the sides so it doesn't squidge out too much. And then on the opposite side, we're going to do the same.
And see how you've done them as two separate bits and then joined them together, which
Yep.
obviously you'll have had to do it with your A4. Is that also then creating that extra bit of stability in the middle for the whole project?
That's exactly what it
Right.
is. Yes, absolutely. So just grab them so they come inside, and then we're going to tip this upside down, and we're literally just going to pop that inside. So you can just, and it doesn't have to be perfect anywhere. You're just going to put it to those edges on the ground. On the base, so it reaches the edges, and then you can pinch that in. Once you've got that together, you can just then hold that for that tacky glue to take shape. It's just quite a nice construction piece that's really easy to do once you've done all that scoring and your scoring and folding.
Do you know what it is? It's a satisfying construction.
Yeah.
It's been quite satisfying seeing how these bits just come together.
And do you know what's more satisfying, Craig, is the fact that it feels squidgy. Like when
Can I
just
feel
want to
it?
play. Yeah, absolutely.
I've not actually
yeah.
have a squidge of your...
Have a squidge of my new card shape.
Oh yeah.
It's really it's lovely, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So on this one, so our finished one, try the finished one. It's just got a bounce. It's
the bounce.
bouncy.
Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's nice. It really is nice. Yeah, I never thought about pressing that earlier on.
I know. So cool.
like that.
And so what's nice, once you've got that inside, it still goes quite flat, so it's probably still not a card you'd want to post because it has that bit, but what it means is it now has structure and it won't fall over. So we can now put anything on the front and it will not tip forward. So the next thing we want to do, we're going to stick this one on, so we're just going to pop that onto there. Now what I want to do is only stick this piece. So I'm just going to take my tape pen and we're just going to pop that along there. I'm just making sure I fill that with my tape, just like so. And then I'm going to place this, so I've only got a small amount just coming over the lip here,
yeah.
because I don't want to cover it, because I want to be able to decorate it. So we're just going to pop that at the front, and then we're just going to literally pop that down and then turn it over, and then that way you can rub that down. You can, even if you wanted to, let's get my scoring tool, go inside and just burnish that down just onto that back piece, and then that will make sure that that won't come away. That will be completely stuck down there, and then that gives us our pop-up shape with our shaker element on there. And you can, like I say, you can use any nesting dies that you want to for that.
Okay.
Right, so let's get on with a bit of die cutting and do a little bit of colouring to finish it off. So I'm going to bring our stamp set in. I love this stamp set, Craig. It's such a lovely one to use, and it's got some really nice elements about it.
It
so
does.
I'm going to just cut a piece of my Nina cardstock. You can, if you wanted to, and you wanted to be frugal with your cardstock, you could use your multi-purpose some of the pieces that we were taking off earlier. But actually, I do love to colour onto Nina cardstock, and it's something I've got off of our Leanne. She's the one. She's quite a stickler. She will say if absolutely you've got nothing else, but she would always recommend you using your Nina cardstock. So we're just going to pop that onto our stamping platform, and then we're going to use some of these. So I want to colour in Alice, so let's pop her on there, and then we want to do our little clock. Now remember, you can do whichever you want. You don't have to do the same things that I'm doing. I'm going to do the cake, so let's bring in the cake, and I also want to do that bottle as well, so I'm going to bring that in, and I'm going to do the playing card as well. We might do a couple depending on how we go for time, and then we've got our rabbit. I think we've pretty much got what we need on there, so let's pop all those into place. I'm going to pop my platform back on the top, And then we're going to stamp those all out. It's the reason I love the stamping platform, because it's a really big space and you can stamp all in one go. But if you have our rocker blocks or one of the smaller platforms, just do one at a time and do them as you go. I mean, the main thing what I love about the craft along is getting that main concept version done. So you all know now how to do those pop-up hexagon cards, which is great. So, and now all of this is just the fun of decorating.
To decorate it, yeah. And with you saying as well, Debbie, how awesome the stamps are. If you were to, certainly the image stamps there, you know, of Alice, and then you've got the playing card, you've got the other ones as well. You could easily use the pocket watch for your mail cards. You could use the cards for the mail cards. You could use one of the cakes for a normal birthday card. You can use the drinking one else. So what I'm trying to say is you could easily take all these stamps and start to use them throughout all your different crafting collections. They're going to work for that, or just use them for Alice through the looking glass. Yeah,
absolutely. Now I want to stamp the card because I want to use that twice. So all I've done is just place that in a different placement on our board, just so I can get another playing card. And that gives us just 2 that we can put onto our makes. Right, so we've got all our elements. Let's have a bit of fun with our colouring in.
The colouring bit.
So let's pop that to the side. Now, as with all colouring, we do recommend that you just place a piece of card. So that piece I've just cut off, I'm just going to place underneath so we can colour that in. I am going to put my ink pad back. And I've got quite a few different colours of my pens. So what I'll do is I'll just shout them out as we go along.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm going to use our True Blue. And this is True Blue. Did someone just score, did you just say? Oh no, France has just scored. I'm never going to be able to colour in now, Johnny. Cancel the show.
Stop
That's
the show.
it. I finished. Can't do it no more. Oh, dear, was it a good goal, Johnny? Mm. Right, so we're going to start off with our lightest colour. And really, Alice is very easy to colour in. I don't know if you've coloured her in yet, Craig.
Not yet, I haven't.
Most of her, so what she's got on the front of her is a white pinny. So we don't really have to do too much to her. So just find where you want to colour in. So I'm going to colour in where I think her dress will be. So just under here, we've got her hair coming down, we've got her sleeves. So I'm going to put a bit on there. And then we're just going to come down from her dress at the side. So just here and at the bottom.
Okay.
So nice and simple, quick colouring really, because actually we want her to have that nice white pinny at the front.
Yeah, we might not hear from Grace the rest of this show. Yeah, she's not too happy either.
No, not at all. Come on, England. The worst thing with the English footballers is they then put their head down, and I really wish they wouldn't do that. I wish they'd sort of fight. I hope they fight back. Let's hope so, Johnny. So all I'm doing is I'm leaving a little bit of white space. I'm just going round with my sort of mid colour. And now I'm going to go in with my darker colour, which is our TB4, just for anyone that's using our classics or illustrators.
Yeah, now I've not thought of this until looking from high above on my side here. Maybe this is a bit controversial. Could you use Alice as Dorothy in Wizard of Oz style?
Yeah.
Could you?
I mean, all you've got to do is do her hair brown, haven't you? Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
Could get away with it, couldn't you?
Yeah, you absolutely could. So all we're doing, I'm just putting in some light and shade where I think that will be. And then I'm going to go back in with my lightest colour just to blend those in. So it's just a nice, mindful bit of colouring, but actually you don't have to do too much. Just trying to do a bit of darker on that bit.
One of those stamp sets I found, at very first glance, I thought, right, I'm going to have a fair bit of colouring when I do prep for this, but actually, when I sat down, and although Alice is actually probably one of them I've not coloured yet, the other ones, some of them at first, they looked a lot of detail to colour, Debbie, but they're not actually.
No,
once you
not
actually start, you realise
absolutely.
they're in big sections.
Yeah, they are really nice stamps to colour in. So that's all we're going to do for Alice. I'm just going to, again, just blend those colours in. and then leave them. But I am going to just add, we're going to do our skin tones now. So I've got my fair skin blend.
Okay.
So I'm going to go straight in with my mid colour, and I'm going to do Alice's skin.
Right.
So I always think, especially with small areas, just go in with your mid colour rather than using all three colours. And then we're just going to use that darkest colour where sort of around her hairline, in her neck, just across her chest. So just adding that little detail in. And then again, go into our mid colour, colour in her legs. So just coming down.
I've never
And
actually thought of that.
don't want to just use two colours.
To do two colours, yeah.
Yeah, when you've got quite a small area, I just think sometimes it just seems a little bit pointless when you can get that same definition. Just going to put a bit more around her chin there. Yeah, with using the two colours. And also, it just takes a little bit of time out with using three colours.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if I'm colouring too fast, you don't have to be as quick as me. It could be that you might just want to take your time. You've got your card base done, so you haven't got to worry about that. And you can just do your embellishments in your own time. So please don't sort of speed to get them done. So we're just going to do our arms now. And she's coming together so quickly. It's amazing how you can make a stamp come to life, isn't it?
It is
Craig?
really amazing.
So just like so. And then all I'm going to do now, we're going to do some hair. So I'm going to use our gold yellow blend. So I'm going to start with that lightest colour, and I'm just going to put that lightest colour all over her hair. Goldilocks is another one. That,
Oh yeah, Goldilocks.
Have you been watching that Netflix program called The Mole?
No, no.
I only asked because that reminded me of it when I said Goldilocks, because there's it's very good.
Is it?
Yeah, really good. Basically, there's a mole in amongst all these people. Did you watch Traitors? There's a program called Traitors.
I've been wanting to start that with Claudia Winkleman.
Yeah, so that's good as well. And so that's an English version, and The Mole is on Netflix, and it's like an American version. So they're both very similar, apart from there's 3 traitors in the Traitors one, but there's only one mole. And they basically have to try and work together as a team to up the pot of money. Yeah, there was a game in it where they had to find the keys to open the gold bullion. And the names on the script were all names associated with gold. So there was like Midas, and it's G-Locks for Goldilocks.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was very clever. So all the names that were associated with El Dorado, because it's like where the gold is. And it was just, yeah, so it's very clever, very clever.
Yeah, it sounds it anyway, yeah. But no, I think I'll probably get myself confused if I do Traitors and The Mole.
Yes, so I said that to Al, we need to stop watching one or the other, because I was then like, well, what's happened then? Like, no, that's Traitors, not The Mole. Right, I'm just going to go in with my light grey now, just to add a little bit of definition. So I'm just going to go round, and what this is doing is just adding highlights, because she's got a white pinny on, so I don't want to do too much, but I do love that we can just add that texture to it by adding a very light grey. And it really is nothing more than just putting a few stripes into there. And then what I'm going to do is come down, and we're just going to give her a sort of darker grey shoe, just to give some contrast.
It's so cute.
And in fact, I think I'm going to go in with a darker colour still. There we go. Yeah, just so she's got a little bit of a different colour going on there. And there we go. So our Alice is done. Oh, apart from a headband I've forgotten. So let's come in with that darker blue and just do a little blue bow. So that's our little blue bow. And then I should have just carried that round because she has a hairband on. There we go. And then all we're going to do is, with our clock, I'm going to sort of tone that in with Alice's hair. So we're going to go back to our gold yellow, and then we're just going to use that to go round. So I'm going to go in, literally, I'm just going to go in sections around our clock, just with my mid colour. Put a little bit there. And then we're going to go with our darker colour now to sort of fill that gap.
So is that's how you would kind of like shade on something that's a really fine line?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And so can you see, without even having to shade, we've got that light and darker shade. And then we can just then go back in to miss, if you've missed any little pieces, just go back in and go around those. So let's go with our darker one.
Such an effective thing to do.
Yeah, especially when you have not a large amount to colour in. And it doesn't take any skill either, Craig, because it literally is a case of just missing some gaps. And because our pens are so good at blending, so look at that, it looks very aged.
It does.
So we're just going to go around there. And then all I'm going to do is use, again, that middle colour, just to blend those two together.
It's effective to see it happen in front of your eyes.
I love colouring. I don't know why, but just lately I've been colouring loads, and I've always loved colouring. I just don't get the time to do it. So lately it's been really nice. I feel like I've had a bit more time to do some colouring. And it is, I mean, I know we keep using that word mindful, but it is such a mindful thing to do. And then because we've got the sort of glow of the clock, I'm going to go in with my AB blend. So aqua blue, I'm just going to use my lightest colour and just go around the edge, just a little bit. And that's going to really just highlight. It's almost like a glass reflection. This is
that
what the
little
aqua
bit
blue
you've just done there, Debbie, you've seen it from up above. That tiny little bit.
Yeah. Makes a big difference, doesn't it? And it just gives that reflection of the glass that's on the clock front. So we don't need to do any more to that one. And then we're going to be using I'm going to go back to the grey actually, and I'm going to, just where these playing cards are, I'm just going to come in and put a little bit of grey round the edges. So where we've got that shade in, I'm just going to continue going round, just the base, and then coming in where that shading is. I like to just go a bit extra inwards and then come down. It's just so it gives us a little bit more definition. And then I'm going to come in with my red pen. I hope I'm not going too fast for Sian, and she's doing okay. So I'm going to come round with my darker colour. So this time I'm using my darkest red.
Right.
And I'm just coming round that heart. And then I'm going to actually fill the inside with the lightest one.
Okay.
Like so. And then all I'm going to do is bring my then darker colour just to do a little bit around those edges.
Going round with that grey there a minute ago, it actually looks like a used, distressed kind of playing card.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, absolutely. And it's sometimes the things we forget, especially with that shading of a card, but actually it's something that just brings it to life. So again, we're going to do that, just go around the edge. Remember, we're going to cut these out or trim them out. Some of them don't have dies, so we're just going to fussy cut. We're going to do a bit of fussy cutting.
Another
and again,
form.
You what, sorry, Craig?
I was just about to say another form that some people find is quite therapeutic and mindful. So it's a good project even for that alone.
Yes,
combining
absolutely.
the two of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And what it does do is it cuts down, I think I'm using, yeah, that's my darkest colour. It cuts down the amount of ink we use as well, just by adding that little bit of colour on the edges.
Yeah.
So just bringing that in.
Because there does come a point, whereas, you know, when we're here, we love to have fun and that, you know, we don't like to be down and low and that, but all across the board, there comes a point where you have to take care of your tools. You know, you're thinking of money nowadays, you know, bills and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So it's like, right, how can I extend my pens for as long as I can without having to pay to top them up again?
Absolutely.
So these little bits, it's like earlier on when you've done the masterclass, the tip about the decoupage flowers. Do you know what I mean? Don't waste the ink or your tools, and it's going to last them longer.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just all those things that it's the longevity of everything. So I'm going to now take my magenta and my true blue, and we're just going to colour our cupcake. So I'm going to use my lightest colour at the bottom of my cupcake. So just putting that lovely blue on there. And what I would say is when you're colouring in, just be mindful of your sort of colours that are going to tone together. So we know I've got those blues coming through in my papers. So if I bring that back in, so I know, can you see we're doing this sort of colour tones on here. So we've got a little bit of these oranges going on. We've got the white, we've got the reds, we've got the blues. So I'm trying to tone all my colouring in with those as well. So just putting that little bit of blue around the edges. And then what I also want to do is I'm just going to bring in my dark red again, and I'm just going to draw some little dots on there, just to add a little bit of interest. And again, it's tying that all in.
It is, yeah.
So even though I haven't got that design on there, I've now got a completely different design on my cupcake. And then let's use a pink, so that magenta. I'm going to use that lightest colour just to put some swells in.
That's, well, Viva Magenta. That's Pantone colour next year.
Oh, yes,
2023,
it is.
yeah.
Yes. Viva
I know, that's what
Magenta.
I think as well when I think of the Pantone colour.
So we're going to pop that on there, and then again I'm just going to bring in that blue, sorry, not blue, our aqua blue, and the lightest colour. I'm just going to edge around our little tag that's in there, just to bring that one to life as well. Now while I've got this colour out, I'm going to do my bottle. So we're going to do sort of a blue inside the bottle, so that just gives that glass sort of reflection, just a little bit. I'm leaving a little bit of white space, and then I'm actually going to go in with our purples. So I've got my purple blend, and I'm going to start off with our lighter purple. So let's pop that in there. I'm going to go across there as well.
You can see how all the colours, as you say, they do tie together. You're matching them with the paper pad there, right in front of your eyes. They just all work together.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And then we're going to come in and do our darker purple. And I love alcohol colouring, but I also love watercolouring. So you choose whatever suits you. You know, if you like to do a bit of watercolouring, just do your stamping onto waterproof cardstock. So choice is yours. So just bringing that in. And then we're just going to come back in with our blue, and we're just going to do a really nice blue ribbon.
Okay.
So coming down here. And then onto this one. And it doesn't have to be perfect, Craig. You know, if you're not that good at colouring, I don't think it matters. I think just laying one colour down, it will look lovely. You know, we don't always have to be very fussy about our colouring. It's just a case of putting those colours down and making them look lovely. And then I'm just going to tone that in with that blue again, not blue, the purple. Just pop that down onto that stopper. So that just ties that colour in, like so.
Even that purple works well, doesn't it? It really
yeah, it
is
looks lovely,
nice.
doesn't it? It looks really nice together. And it's just, again, it's just adding different textures. And then let's come in with that. This is one of my most used ones, the Aqua Blue blend. It's just brilliant for just adding that little highlight. When you just want to highlight something. So bringing that in. So we've got all our elements now to be able to decorate. So let's give these all a fussy cut out. So I'm going to bring in my little snips for these. And actually, just because our playing cards are straight lines, it'll just be easier to cut these in a straight line. So I'm literally just cutting these out.
If say no if there's anything you want to go over, but if you're doing that, we've got some comments come through.
Yes,
if you want.
do it.
Yeah.
I'm just trimming away.
You okay with that?
Absolutely, yes.
Let's do that then. So where did I get to before? We have, so we're going on about the football and crafting and singing Foam on a Roll. Dieta is saying, my husband is watching football this way through his eyes. Through his closed eyelids. Kate in California is saying, if Debbie Robinson is throwing her, she's put undies, at Harry Styles, she'll need to,
Oh dear.
I can't believe we're doing this. She'll need to fix her underwire bra first so she doesn't poke his eye out. Ah, she was on it right. Okay, then that makes sense then.
Yes.
Mary Reno's saying, the man of the house just turns the volume up on his TV, lol. Odd, because sometimes I do that when I'm talking to him. I like that one. Dietel is saying, with this card, it would be cute if you put some cute animals or wobblers on the front of it.
Oh, I love that idea. Yes,
good
the
idea,
warblers
yeah.
would be amazing.
Yeah, or even child's name, as she says as well.
Oh, yeah, that's
That
a
would
lovely
work.
idea.
Karen Carter's saying, blimey, I've got those images in my head now of two naughty Debbies out on the loose for a night out.
Oh, I know.
She's put, well, I'm not going to read, well, yeah. She's put throw in there.
Throwing our undies.
There you go, Debbie said it.
I'm not throwing mine. It was Debbie that said
was
she's throwing
Debbie.
hers. It's well, it is the summertime, so
Well,
I'm
yeah.
thinking, we need our winter woolies to keep us warm. Not parting with none of my clothes.
No. And then because of that, Grace was saying, I can't wait to see Debbie next week. Mary is saying the stamps are just awesome, great illustrating. Stephanie Theodos is saying, we are going to New York for a few days. It's colder, and I plan to stamp out some of these images I have been wanting to get so that we can bring my tricolour markers in case we get any Broadway tickets reasonably priced. We'll eat well and see the store windows and trees. That would be nice.
How nice is that? Yeah.
Stephanie Theodos is also saying, I love colouring because it's a de-stress for me.
Yeah,
which it
absolutely.
is.
I agree.
Johnny was actually just saying there, if you go to Times Square and go to the big red steps you've got a ticket booth just behind it. It's last minute tickets.
Have you been there then, Johnny? Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, Johnny was saying, we went last minute, that ticket booth, really inexpensive. Need to keep that in mind next time I get to New York. We've got Carletta saying, my sewing helps me de-stress too. We've got Stephanie is also saying, love this collection, I need to get it for my granddaughter, she asked for it. Remember, we've got the two
that's
options.
nice.
We'll go over them just shortly. Dieta is saying, beautiful colouring. And just while you were doing that, Debbie, Dorothy Purswell is saying, hi from Texas, I'm listening and trying to organise at the same time. What is the difference between tri-blend and tri-blend brush markers?
Oh, good idea. Good question, should I say. Tri-blend brush and tri-blend pens are different nibs, basically. So you've got your bullet nib on this one, which is a harder nib, and then you've got your soft brush nib on the brush ones. So that's the only difference. The ink's the same. They're both alcohol pens. You just choose which one you want. For me, Craig, I don't know about you, but I go through both. So I love the brush ones for doing hair. I don't think you can beat it. So if you're doing fur for animals, you're doing hair, skin, that sort of thing, they're just incredible to use, honestly, having a brush marker. But I actually also like colouring with a hard nib.
So do I.
Yeah, so I do switch between both of them. So if you ask me which ones are the best or better, I would have to say both. And you would use both of them because they both have the different needs. So yeah, I absolutely love both of them. But the brush nib, I would say if you have never used a brush nib before, definitely try them because they're amazing to use.
Yeah, they really, really are. And it's funny because many of you at home will say, sitting watching you colour, Debbie, or any of us, makes you want to get your pens out. And that's kind of like for me when it comes to the pens I use. So I could go through a spell of using my tri-blends, the hard nibs, and then I could be here and I could watch you using the brush markers, or I'll be at home watching Debbie or Jan using the brush markers, and I'm like, oh, I fancy using my brush markers.
Yeah.
And that puts me into a spell for using them for a wee while.
Of course.
And then it happens again, I'll see you or someone else using the hard nibs, and I'm like, oh, I want to start using the hard nibs again. So
yeah,
that's
it's whatever
how it works
takes
for
your
me.
fancy, isn't it?
Yeah,
But yeah,
it is.
for me, I switch between both of them. I've got a bit of a mixture in a big pot at home, so I just switch whichever ones. But hair, I would absolutely recommend your brush nibs every time to do the hair. It's just, it just makes such a difference, especially with those sort of slight brush strokes that you get, and the blending then is amazing.
It is.
Right, so I've just done that super quick. So we've got all our pieces cut out. Let's bring our card back in, just like so. And we did cut a rabbit, so we've got our rabbit. And then let's pop these into place. So I'm going to use my Alice to put onto the top here. So we're just going to stick her along. I'm going to just put some tape just along this bit here. Because I don't need to stick her on the actual edge. So it is just a case of popping her just on here. Standing next to that shaker element.
Just to say as well, if you're keeping track, then this will be demo of the day, because this is really the only main demo as such that we've done today throughout this Saturday. So yeah, that'll be demo of the day.
Lovely, jubbly. Well, I shouldn't say that because there's probably loads of cards this week, but it'd be nice to get a star. I haven't got a star on the board yet. Let's pop that one.
Do you know what we need to do tomorrow though?
Oh, I know what I haven't done.
What's
have
that?
we got time? Yeah, we've got time, haven't we? I haven't stamped a sentiment. I was going to stamp a sentiment. So we're going to stamp a sentiment. We're going to use our cards.
Tomorrow, Debbie, me and you'll need to get a photo of our demonstrator of the year.
Oh, yes.
Because it was joint between us both, and we're both here together.
We are,
so get a little photo with our award.
Yeah, that was really nice, wasn't it? Did you know we were getting a...
No.
Yeah, no, I didn't have a clue, so we're going to pop those on there. Yeah, I didn't know there was... We didn't have one last year, did we?
No, we didn't.
So we're just going to pop our cards at the side there, and honestly you can decorate this however you want. I'm just sort of putting these where I think they will look nice. We're going to place our bottle then going up the side here, and you can put as much or as little as you want. The choice is yours.
Actually, Debbie, just a very quick good question. Dea is asking, is Debbie leaving a little white line all the way around when she's fussy cutting?
Actually, no, I haven't.
Okay.
So normally I would, but I haven't done on these ones, so no. I've just wanted to lay them up and get those full image of them being around, so you can see I've left no white line.
No.
But actually, if you did leave a white line, it wouldn't matter.
Okay.
It would look just as nice. Right, so I haven't done my sentiment, so I am going to do our sentiment. So let's got a piece of my card that I had earlier, so I'm going to just use this to do my sentiment. And let's, did I take the sentiments out of the box? I thought I did. That'll be something now, won't it, Craig? Finding. Oh, here we go. They're right in here.
You got it.
So I'm going to use this one, which is "You're entirely bonkers, but I'll tell you a secret. All the best people are," which I think is just perfect.
It really is.
Right, I'm just going to put these back on as well here, so I don't lose any of these. So let's take these ones off, and while that's happening, everyone can be catching up on their colouring. So I'm just placing all my pieces back on. So there's my cupcake and that one. And then I can then place my piece of card onto my platform, and then
it's the variety of sentiments that are in this collection, and not just the stamps. You know, you've got some of the little stencils that have got sentiments on them as well. They're so fun.
Yeah, they're really fun, aren't they? There's lots of really nice ones. So I'm just using this scrap piece of card, but it worked out really well actually, because I can just then pop that onto the corner, and then we can trim that out. So just tap that down, and I am using my platform again because just in case we want to re-stamp it, I know I can get that in the exact place. Sian seems to have done very well keeping up today.
She does, yeah.
It's been amazing. And then we're just going to stamp down, making sure we've got all that stamped, and that's what I thought might happen. So I'm just going to go in and stamp that again.
I'd be so lost without my platform now.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure that's settled. Once it's settled, just tap that back down. Still not catching on that end bit, which I'm not sure why. So let's just put one more down, and that will be fine.
And that was a good tip as well. I know you cover it quite often, Debbie, but just let the platform settle first.
Yes, absolutely,
'cause I
and
get
always
asked that
push it in the
sometimes.
same place. Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's all those tips, isn't it? All those tips and tricks which do wonders. So let's pop that to the side and then we can trim that out. So I'm literally just going to trim around there. Just going to try and straighten it first because I've done that a little bit wonky. Wonky donkey. How's England doing, Johnny? Still getting beat. Are we not playing very well? Still time, there's still time. At least we get to watch the second half. There we go. So that gives us that piece. And then what I'm going to do is just bring in some of the blue card, the scrap of blue that we had left over. And I'm just going to mark this. In fact, we can glue this down. So let me pop the lid on there. So I am just going to glue this down onto the back.
I like how you are all going to be watching the football and I'm going to watch last night's SmackDown.
So I'm just going to matte and layer that on. Once you've got that on, I am going to just burnish the back as I always do. And then we can pop this one in.
Just as I was going to say at the end of the show, because Victoria's asking, I will be doing my advent calendar live tonight. That will be live.
Are you?
Yeah.
My goodness, Craig, you are a busy bee. So you're literally heading home to do your...
Head home and get... I've got a lot of kind of like the software stuff and that's already set up and that ready to go. So I just need to get my camera angles into place and sit down for 10-15 minutes, catch my breath, and then we'll go live for an hour.
Craig, you're so good. So good. What's in store today? So you have you know what it, do you know what it is, or you crafting?
This year I know what's behind each door, and another one is I'm going to say it, so I'm going to give you a like tease if you've not opened it yet. It is an embossing folder. It's a 2.5 by 2.5 embossing folder. And trust me, this is one you're going to keep at the side of your desk or your work area all the time because it's such a useful one.
So what was the card you showed me earlier? What was that number from?
So that is Mondays. So I'm doing it live tonight. I'll be live tomorrow night as usual. Monday, I will have a video that'll go out because I'll be travelling back from Hobby Maker here in the UK. It is a sentiment die, just a one-worded sentiment die. But I was saying to Debbie, it's one of my most favourite cards I've done because I've done it with a little bit of mixed media. And that was the whole point this year of knowing what was behind them. So some of them I'll do simple and some of them I'll start to incorporate Crafter's Companion products. And that, I can say, and I said it to Debbie, is one of my most favourite cards I've done. It's mixed media. That's going to be on Monday, but the video will come out in the morning for all of you.
It is beautiful, yeah, absolutely lovely.
Thank
all right,
you,
so
Debbie.
all I'm doing here now, Craig, I'm just going to cut my little teacups out. So I've got 3 little teacups, so we're just going to pop them onto our folder. Now, if you've got your Gemini MIDI at hand, or Mini, it will just go through your folder. You can run them through and cut lots of different embellishments. So just running those ones through. They're going to cut out our little tea set. And then also, what did I cut that out earlier? I don't think I did. I think I took it. Oh no, I didn't. The teapot's still on there. And I'm going to cut a teapot out, and I've just took some of my red cardstock, and I'm going to cut my teapot out.
I mean,
So
think of
let's
all the cards and projects that you could be using the teacup and the teapot and that with. Do you know what I mean? That's going to work with lots.
So many, yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to pop that on there and cut the teapot. So that's our teapot to go with our teacups. So let's take these out. I mean, these are so cute. Look at these little teacups here. Very, very cute. What I'll do is I'll just pop them onto red cardstock so you can see them.
So cute.
And then what I also want to do, so don't want to lose them, let's pop them there. Let's take out our red teapot.
Lillian's opened her advent calendar so far today. She says, I used the embossing folder on craft card. It looks amazing.
Oh, nice. Now, what I also want to do, use these little hearts. So although we use them for our shaker elements, I am going to bring in our little precision glue bottle. And I'm just going to take these and put a little bit of glue on the top, just a little squirt of glue. And then I'm going to also take a couple more, just to put a little tiny piece of glue on these, because what I want to do, let me just pop that pin back in, is we're going to take these and pop them. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to actually turn my cup around and pop that just onto there.
Oh.
And then that way you haven't got to be fussy about whether it's going to stick. We've got a little heart on our cup
That
there.
is such a neat tip.
And then turn that round, and then we can just stick that down onto there as well. And the same with this one. So rather than worrying about where it's going to go and picking it up and doing that, just pick it up, and then you've got your little heart. You can sort of move that about, and there we go. Oh, that one's got a bit ski-whiff, but it doesn't matter because we're going to pop these into each other, and then we're going to have that red teapot in the background. So that's our last bit that we're doing now. So we're going to pop that into our background. So our teapot is going to go on the side. So let's add our tape pen.
This is looking so fun.
It's
so
so
cool.
nice, isn't it? I mean, I had a lot of fun making this, not just because of the actual design, but just the fact that all these elements just work really well together. And then again, I'm going to use my dotty tape pen, and each one of these. So just putting our tape down, and I'm going to pop them so they're coming out of each other. So we're doing these toppling sort of teacups. And then our last one, I like to do them all together before we put them down, and then you know exactly where they're going to go. And then we can just pop that one there, and then we can have them at the side. Look how nice they look.
They really
with
do.
our little teapot. And there we go, there's our finished card. And it is just a case that pops up and shut, and then I'll just bring in my other one that we did. So we've got those two. Absolutely beautiful, and just really nice that we can do that sort of design of card.
Yeah, well, I think it's fair to say, Debbie, that Buddy absolutely loves that. He really, really does. Rightio, let's check in with Sian for the last time of this craft along to see how she's got on. Hey,
Yay,
oh wow.
Amazing.
How cool is that, Debbie, isn't it?
So beautiful. You've done an absolutely brilliant job.
You really, really have. Have you enjoyed making that, Sian?
Yeah, I loved it. I'm definitely going to make this style of card again. It's really fun.
Yeah, and then is that something, because you jotted down the measurements, is that something you'd look to do again, maybe change it up again?
Yeah, I think it'd be good for like maybe Mother's Day with flowers or butterflies or something. So yeah, definitely going to do it again.
Oh, that's a really good idea. Yeah, I might take that thought as well and keep that in mind for next year. Sian, thank you for spending your Saturday evening with us on this craft along. It's really good to see you, and really good to see you making what you have done. Would you come back again in the not too distant future?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely fun.
Awesome, excellent.
Thank you, Sian.
Looking forward to it. Have a lovely rest of the weekend, and we'll see you soon.
You too. Thank you, guys.
See you later.
Bye.
It's always lovely seeing what many make, whether it's on the craft along or whether it is afterwards when it comes to you doing them in your own time. We've got, so Lillian was saying about that folder. Kathleen, just very quickly, how is CC involved with Hobby Maker, and can we see Hobby Maker in the US of A? Well, Hobby Maker in the UK is just like HSN is for you guys stateside. Here in the UK, you can watch, you just can't shop, and that goes for us when it comes to HSN. We can watch, but we can't shop from HSN. So if you hear any of us are there, then you can just watch on the Hobby Maker website or their YouTube, or we tend to share the days and times of all our shows when we're on. So you can watch, absolutely. Carletta's saying that is absolutely beautiful, Debbie.
Oh, thank you.
Mary Beth is saying it's a beautiful card. What is the finished size of it?
Oh, Oh, that's a good question. Let's have a look. So flat, it's actually, I would say 6 1/4 by 7.
Perfect.
Yeah. So,
Excellent.
so a 6.5 by 7 inch envelope would fit it.
Brilliant. Dieta, just last couple before we go. Dieta saying it's a darling card. Really enjoyed this show. Great company on a chilly Saturday morning in California. Thank you, Debbie and Craig. And a good question, one I've never been asked, but I know, Victoria, you'll be absolutely fine, but I'll throw it to Debbie anyway. Oh, does anyone know if you can take your tri-blends on a plane, or are they classed as liquid? I want to take a few in my backpack.
Oh, yeah, really good question. Absolutely fine too. So, yeah, they wouldn't be classed as, because they're actually in a felt pocket, so they'd be actually absolutely fine.
Yeah, perfect. And that's what's great about these shows. Anything like that, you can ask as well. So, as we were saying earlier on, I will be live. So if you are watching live on this Saturday evening, I'll be on my Facebook and my CC YouTube channel, 9:15 here in the UK, 4:15 Eastern Time, 1:15 Pacific Time, and we'll be live for an hour, and we'll open door number 10 that we're on today, see what we can create with that one, of course. Then we're going to be back again tomorrow, but what we're going to do is we're going to flip and flop, Debbie, aren't we?
We are. We're going to switch a Rooney tomorrow,
We are
which will be
indeed.
exciting.
It's going to be really good. So Debbie's going to be on this side. I'm going to be on that side. Really looking forward to it, because with myself helping out on this side while Ben's been away, it's been a while since I've been across there, so it's going to be really, really nice. We've got starter skills, so we're going to look at our great big scoreboard, we're going to look at our envelope maker and 2 of our scoreboards, and then we've got a Colour Me Happy, where we're going to be looking at our tri-blend pens, tri-blend aqua pens, I should say, aqua pens and sparkle pens, so we'll show you basic techniques how to use them, and then we're going to wrap the day up with a Second Chance Sunday. So that's showing you some of the best deals and the best offers for the best products that we have had this week. Some of them we can't show you because they've sold out already throughout the week, but keep that one in mind. So that's Starter Skills, Colour Me Happy and Second Chance Sunday. Thank you for such a lovely day and evening, Debbie. I've had a blast.
Yeah, it's been really nice. I've had a lot of fun today. I've
been
loved
good.
Saturday. I think my favourite part is definitely the Christmas films this morning.
I agree.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it was such a good game. I really enjoyed that.
Really good game.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it as well.
an amazing winner.
Oh, thank you. I would have been disappointed in myself if I didn't do well, that's for sure. Exactly the same team tomorrow. We've got Jake tomorrow, we've got Johnny, and we've got Charlotte as well. Not sure if Grace is on, but thanks for your help today, Grace, when it comes to the comments. We will see you all over again for Sunday's edition of our shows on Crafters TV tomorrow. Take care. We'll see you then.